Hi guys, Yamaha Man here again. Right, so we're just going to have a conversational talks on the Yamaha Tricity and things that she's basically done over the last several months. Obviously my last video was about the near 10,000 miles and slight issues we had with her. So basically I'm going to probably start talking from after that, what we fully did. Obviously I went into slight detail where she went, you know, like Wales as such, Skegness and blah blah blah, but we didn't fully go into depth. So this one is now specially for that. So this is basically to give an idea, even though a Yamaha Tricity is a city bike, exactly what she can do if you really want a Tricity to do something. Bear in mind we're talking the 125 class here, not 300 now. Now that's out. I may actually do a video regarding the 300 and probably my thought process on that. But that may, I don't know, that makes them a slightly heated topic, and at the end of the day I just want people to enjoy my videos, not argue with me because of certain viewpoints, but hey ho. Anyway, so back to what we were saying. So yeah, so basically when she was fixed and I said, right, she's going to have to go and do some miles, we said, right, well, let's do some touring, see what she can do. So obviously we packed obviously the bike up with everything. We've got a nice little 3-man tent and all the accessories that go with it. Fits lovely in the back of the top box. If you ever want a proper top box, I recommend a Shad SH58X expandable top box. They are fantastic. You'll find a lot of big premium bike riders that will use them, like on BMW GS 1200s, etc. But I mean, it doesn't really look out of place on a Yamaha Tricity, really. If you're used to a tiny little 30-litre box, less than that, you might think, oh Jesus, it looks quite big when you first stick it on, but you'll be amazed because it's expandable. So basically you can go from 38 litres all the way up to 58, so basically you can adjust on there's basically levers inside, you flick out and the whole box can, like a clamshell, it can open up like that. So that's quite handy in itself. So if you ever want a top box, I recommend to get one of them. They retail for about £250. You could probably get them a little bit cheaper sometimes, but well worth the money. So Yamaha Man's top tip, Shad SH58X top box. If you're going to go touring, buy one. So back to what we did. So obviously being unsure exactly what the bike was going to do, I thought, well, let's start small, because if it breaks down, even though I'd said it took cover out, it was best probably taking it a short distance, and then if it did that, we'll continue a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. So we went into the local park where I live. We camped a few nights out there. All great, no problems. Okay, check. So from there we thought, right, okay, because at bear in mind at the time I was off work, not due to COVID, but work holidays in fact. I thought, right, let's go to Scarborough. Let's test her up. Let's see if she can go up to Scarborough. You know, and obviously the terrain changes, i.e. the hills and everything. Let's try it there. Let's see if she'll fail. Basically, I was doing everything I could to see whether the bike would fail again. And that would have obviously determined its future. So I went to Scarborough, did several miles there. Thumbs up, did it all around the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. Yep, all the hills, good, no problem. I mean, okay, granted, the only things that I would probably say that are a slight disadvantage when you're touring with a Tricity is the two wheels at the front. The suspension's quite harsh, to be fair. It's not bad, but if you got these like ruts in the road, these like you seem to just drive along and then bump like that. Them things, or it feels like you're going down a set of stairs. The front wheels on a Tricity are quite harsh. The back tries to be soft enough to mellow it out, but the front can be quite harsh. But I mean, saying that, that's only just regarding the ride comfort. But at the end of the day, it's a cheap man's scooter, really. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's not Olin suspension quality. Let's put it that way. But anyway, so I thought we'd do that. It was to Scarborough. And then there were a couple of days in between where obviously we'd come back. We got to Skeggy. That was good. Test it out there, test it out on sea level, see how she goes. And yes, you do get your good indicated 68 mile an hour. Yamaha do say you get from the bike, which is okay, it's good. I mean, for 125, a bike that pushes 70 mile an hour. I can't argue with that personally. But yeah, so I mean, we did all that. So we did all that. She's gone through the Lincolnshire Wolds. That was nice, all around the twisty bends, and all the hills, pulling up. Obviously you've got to appreciate a 125. You're always like this with it. So if you're going to really try and stress the drivetrain out, you're going to stress it out, especially on a steep hill. I mean, some of the places there was 20% inclines plus. She's also been to Whitby, and we all know if you're a biker, the roads around Whitby, how steep and dangerous they can be. So if she were going to sort of fail, I would have thought, right, she's going to fail here. No, she didn't want to fail there. So I thought, oh, okay, fine. So from there, we then went across to Morecambe on the west coast of Britain. I don't think I'd personally go back there ever again. It's a very boring place. I'm sorry if you are from Morecambe. But it does need a lot of money spending on that to be an enjoyable place. But regardless, I'd say, went to Morecambe, did the mileage, no problem, great, okay. We then went up into the edge of the Lake District, near enough. Didn't fully go there because obviously I've been last year with the other one. It is a goal to go back to the Lake District with this one. And then we went across into the, was it Yorkshire? Yeah, the Yorkshire Dales, wasn't it? North York Moors, Yorkshire Dales there, across the Hawes, famous biking place, up there. All the roads back through, all the way down the national park there, through Skipton, back home. That was all in one day. That was, how many miles would that have been? 300? No problem. The only person that was suffering, me. Let's say the seat is comfortable. And you can do about 2 hours on it either way. It's just human fact. I mean, the bike, from what I'm starting to learn, being a good Japanese related, brand Yamaha, it will do the miles. It will. It's just the organic matter that's set on top that suffers. So yeah, I mean, so she did all the miles, and I thought to myself, I'd been last year with the other one, Ruby, the red Tricity, to Wales, and I thought, you know what, this one's never been to Wales, and I know some of the terrain in Wales can be really testing, and I thought to myself, well, if we're going to really test, if we're going to really test the Tricity, we're going to test it here. So obviously I've been last year now. For my own personal benefit, there was some beer in Wales. Now unfortunately that doesn't, you can't buy it here in the UK. It's only on the Welsh borders. So I thought, well, I'll make a day excuse. We'll go to Wrexham. Why not? Let's go to Wrexham. Let's go and pick it up. You know, so we thought, well, we'll start easy with Wales. You know, Wrexham's, you know, it's on the border. And we'll see how far we can go with things like that. So we did that, and yeah, she did that, and I was like, by this point, we're like, you're just not going to break, are you? You're not going to break. And I was trying to, because I wanted to see if there was a problem, but I was still annoyed with the bike, and I still wanted to really try and find where its Achilles heel was. So obviously we came back home. That wasn't a problem. What else did we do from going? Well, so we've been to Wrexham. I went out to Llanberis in the Snowdonia National Park, up near Mount Snowdon, the Penway Pass. Obviously I've got a video on my YouTube channel of that, on the previous Tricity. So I thought, why not? Let's recreate history with the different Tricity, a new model. Let's take it up there. So took it up there. 400 miles in one day. 400 miles in one day. 12 hours in that seat overall. Yamaha here is absolutely crazy, right? Anybody else would think, oh yeah, ride there mate, stay overnight and then go back the following day. Oh no, I did 400 miles that day to try and break that Tricity. And who did it break? It broke me instead. It made me a new man. Truth be told, I would have actually broke her, but not in the drivetrain. I nearly crashed her twice, trying to do that sort of mileage in one day. Yeah, so I'll give you a rough idea, and I mean, as a biker, I'm sure you're very much aware of all this. So basically, I'm travelling down a big A road, going back, so miles and miles and miles and miles. And you know what it's like. Not target fixation, but a case of zoning out. Anyway, so I comes off this off ramp, doing about 60 miles an hour at the time off this off ramp. Now obviously this off ramp goes round at 180 degrees, give or take. Well, I thought I was doing right, and I thought I was leaning in, I'd let the speed off. That's what I thought. That wasn't what was happening. I was carrying 60 miles an hour on the bend. That bend, just over the start of the apex of that bend, 45-50 miles an hour should have been my limit. Well, thankfully there was a very large hatch marking area beyond that. Well, we went into that. It wasn't dry either, it was raining. So we had thick white lanes. So we know as bikers that's very slippy. And then obviously in front of me, all I could see was the arrow metal signs saying you go around, not towards me like I was doing. And then yeah, so obviously there were signs telling me don't come towards me, go around me. I wasn't doing that, I was going towards it, and I was going towards trees, and I was like, oh dear. I'd realised my mistake. I let off the throttle and everything, and I had to literally, thankfully the hatch marking area was quite large, so the bike managed to engine brake and reduce a lot of speed prior to the signs. Now, because of the thick white paint on the road, braking, that wouldn't have been advisable, even though she's a Tricity and she's got two wheels up front. I was actually deciding between the sign, there was a gap between the sign and then the trees behind it. I was deciding of going into there. That's where I would have gone if all else failed. Anyway, gets within several feet and the bike's down to about 20 miles an hour. Now that's not a problem, I don't mind that. But at the point I was like, well, I'm going to be eating metal sign or eating wood for lunch. So I had to turn the bike ever so slightly with the front wheels, then slowly obviously press the front brake, because obviously the back brake on a Tricity is okay, but it's not strong enough to have stopped it at that point. Now this, where again having a Yamaha Tricity pays dividends, obviously because I had to turn the wheels, press the brakes to fully stop the bike. She slid on them white lines, and the whole bike went, but she stayed upright. If I'd been two wheels, I'd have tucked, and I'd have been picking myself up off the floor. Yeah, and basically when I stopped sideways of that sign, I was within 12 inches of it. I couldn't have got any closer. So my trying to brake the Tricity, I was going to basically brake it in another way by crashing it, sort of thing. And trying to do them 400 miles in one day, which is not really recommended. So obviously I just thought, like, resumed composure. Cars started looking at me like, hey, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, yeah, you know, carry on, just nothing to see here, I didn't do this. And carried on. Now obviously going back home, where I live, involves the A537 Cat and Fiddle at Buxton in Derbyshire, one of the UK's most dangerous roads. Now that's a challenging road during the day to ride. To ride it in pitch black, I mean as black as this helmet here, at night. I mean I've got a couple of years experience on riding, but I still have a CBT license, so you know, if you want to throw everything at me, fine. But I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to do my best, you know, and learning by my mistakes. Well, obviously going through the A537, I've been on it several times, and you know, trying to take it with ease. But it is pitch black, and even though the Tricity has LED lights and does project an image in front a lot better than the older model, it still doesn't stop the black spots sometimes that you get, you know, because obviously the light remains straight. There's no fancy LED headlight work, you know, as the bike turns, the lens, you know, the bulb doesn't turn with the bike, you know what I mean, it's a fixed light beam. And I remember this one particular thing, I thought, right, you know, I'm going around a bend, but because obviously wherever the light source was going at the time, it created a black spot. So as I'm coming round, you lose the light on where you're actually trying to fully look, and actually nearly hit the wall, nearly went over the wall. So again, I was trying to brake the Tricity, but in a completely different way. But overall, we got home. We got home and we got safe, and it was fine. That wasn't a problem. The other adventures, I would say, she did during that time. We took her down to South Wales at Aberfenny. Sorry about my pronunciation of Welsh, but I see it as I pronounce it as I see it. If you see it as different, then I'm sorry. So yeah, we've gone down to Aberfenny in Wales and stopped off at Pasqualad, can't even pronounce it, Penasqualbin Caravan Park, literally just on the borders of the Brecon Beacons National Park, and went to see the Black Mountain Pass and St Herbert's Quarry. That was all great. Obviously, probably about 3.5, 4 hours to get there, and stayed down there for about 4 days, which was good. Herbert's Quarry, very nice. Black Mountain Pass, okay. Not quite the road I thought or expected to see. Probably I might need to do a bit more research rather than just rushing along, going into a camping just to go and see it, sort of thing. But yeah, so I mean, that was all nice. Herbert's Quarry was very nice. A very hot day, I may add. Plus 30 degrees in the UK. Very hot. But yeah, again, all the heat and everything, the hills, the bends, you just wouldn't brake. Coming back, we obviously was going to we took a from Abergavenny through to Gloucester. I went and stopped and looked at Gloucester Cathedral that day. Yes, Yamaha is into architecture, so if you're watching these videos and you like architecture, please give my video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're on the channel. Yeah, so we went and seen that. We was also going to visit the Cotswolds that day, because I said to myself, well, I think it was 250 miles to come back home, and I knew it was going to be a long day, and bear in mind I'd been in the saddle from 9 o'clock that morning. So due to the weather, raining, we didn't do the Cotswolds. That will be on the list shortly at some point. But again, because I'm into architecture, Yamaman's into architecture, I had plans of going to see something else. So I was aiming to go there and see it. Now, I know the Tricity is not the fastest bike in the world, but that day and the traffic and everything, it just wouldn't happen. So that didn't happen. But the fact is, we were still commuting or travelling from Wales back home. Well, that trip, ladies and gentlemen, lasted until, bear in mind, as I said, 9 o'clock in the morning. I got home at midnight with things I was doing or wanted to see, and then stopping and blah blah blah. Not because the bike's that slow, it's just I made it look longer. It was midnight. Now, the Tricity didn't break. It just kept going on and on and on and on. And me, I was dying. The seat is comfortable, it is comfortable, and it's comfortable for about 2.5 hours. My backside was killing. You can imagine the distance. If you've ever done the miles, that was torture. And because of the small fuel tank, having to stop every 100-120 miles to fill the tank, there were times I was riding out the fuel garage, standing up on a scooter, like I were on a GS 1200. I mean, that's how painful it were. There were a point I didn't think I was going to get home, because I thought I couldn't endure it. I'm a man that can try to endure a bit, and I'm pretty determined in, if I'm going to do something on a motorbike, I will achieve it. If I want to get to a certain point, I will do it. But regardless of me, as I'm going back and saying, the Tricity would not break. Just would not break. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the majority of the miles that I've now put in, because obviously the bike has now got to a point where it does need new tyres, as I was saying. I did afterwards, she did actually go to Newcastle. She did go to Newcastle and back. I almost got myself a penalty charge notice for going through a bus gate up in Newcastle. Whoopsie. But completely new place, never been in my life. So if anybody's watching from Newcastle, hey, how are you? God help you with all them bus gates up there. So yeah, I mean, she's now obviously back home. Tyres are very bold, as I was saying. She's having new tyres on next week. We are opting for Bridgestone Battle Axe tyres. The current tyres that are on it are the stock IRC tyres. Now, because of the compound, they probably don't add to the comfort of the ride, but I was looking at replacing for the exact same tyres, because I thought, well, if I get another 9,000 miles, that'd be great. So, if anyone has any recommendations on what mileage you're getting from Bridgestone Battle Axe tyres on a scooter or a 125 class, let me know please, because it's going to be a whole new world. About £200 worth of tyres for the Tricity. So yeah, The new tyres, I've never tried them before, so I don't know what the mileage is going to be. I'm told that they're supposedly okay tyres. See, the previous Tricity had Pirelli Angel tyres on it. Now the front tyres was fine, but unfortunately, if you've ever had Pirelli Angel, especially for a scooter, the compound, because they do give a sort of softer ride, I would say to a point, the compound is soft, and even on the previous Tricity that wasn't fast, even though it had a 12-inch rim, it rounded the back tyres off in about 2,000 miles. And the front side didn't have to change, that wasn't a problem. But 2,000 miles for a tyre that were like £60 each, no. And unfortunately, as I was saying, there's this new Tricity, because it's got this variable valve timing, and it just has this more tendency of urgency about itself. I just won't put Pirelli Angel tyres on this, and personally I wouldn't recommend. I'm not saying that they're not a safe tyre, they're very good tyres, but as in compound, unless you want to be spending money replacing the tyres, especially the back one, I wouldn't do it, not on a Yamaha Tricity, not the newer versions at least. So yeah, Bridgestone Black Lax it's going to be. We're going to see exactly how they fare. So yeah, I think that's basically all what I've got covered. I don't think I ever mentioned, obviously since having the videos and whatnot, the bike actually does now have a name. It's going to sound crazy, some of you say, well, bother naming your bike. Some agree with me. But so yes, I would like to introduce Tricity. Her name is Cyberus, as in cyber, because of the colour that she has, the cyber blue, very similar to the helmet. And the other part of the Cyberus is from Cerberus, three-headed hell dog. Now you think, why would you want to do that? That sounds a bit dark to call on the Tricity. I just thought it. She's got three wheels, so like the Cerberus, three heads, three wheels, and because of that variable valve timing thing, and you really give us, she gives this real bite kick to her, for the class. Let's keep it as in the class of the 125. It's got a real bite and bark to it. And I thought, you know what? Three wheels, three-headed, Cerberus, Cyber, put the words together, Cyberus. So, ladies and gentlemen, Yamaha 2018 Tricity Cyberus. And I will try to, from the next videos, try to refer to her not just as Tricity or Tricity, as whatever people say, but she is Cyberus. I try to give her some personality, a bit of respect. End of the day, I mean, I try to respect my bikes, because as much as you can ride them, they can hurt you as well, regardless how big they are. So yeah, as I say, I tried to break the Tricity, didn't. It broke me instead, and nearly killed me. One of my own false doings. But yeah, so that's basically a little conversation I wanted to have with you regarding the commutes that I've been doing with her. And yeah, so proof they can go the distance, they can. It'll be you that will fail first. And yeah, I mean, if you've got any queries or thingies, let me know. I'll happily help you out. I've also set up a Yamaha Tricity Owners UK page. So if you're a owner of a Yamaha Tricity 125 or 300, please come and see me. Sign up. I mean, we've about 30 odd members at the moment. Obviously, it's still a small, still a growing channel, very much like this YouTube channel. sometimes it has good content, sometimes it's bearable. At the end of the day, I don't aim to be perfect. I'm a human being at the end of the day. But if you are a Tricity owner, come and see us at Yamaha Tricity Owners UK. Search that into Facebook. It'll ask for approval and I'll add you to us, and welcome to the group. So yeah, hope to, like I say, if you like it, like the video, subscribe. Hopefully, as I said, I will try and get better with my videos as time goes along. I know it's been just over 30 minutes, this video, but thank you for sticking with me, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Okay, bye.